What we did last week, in the past 2 weeks, is we took our banana and our cocoa and we put it around the root zone. So we pruned out a lot of the material and the roots that were there, the leaves that were there, and we covered them all up, because that was one of the big things that you need to do with your roots, is constantly cover them, because you want to make really big plant systems and root systems, because it's not a tree, but it becomes a tree over time, and these things get really big. So they're going to do terrestrial roots and then aerial roots at the same time. So somebody doesn't like the color of their hair right there. It says it makes them look bald. But if you do like Vanilla Joe's channels, give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, ask me any questions, and together we can grow. We have to make sure that we reinforce our structure. So we had to come back in here and install giant bamboo inside each one of the posts, because one of the big things about vanilla is that it vines and it just gets massively heavy. Right, it's not like our beans are like massive size. You know, ChatGPT said that I got a 9.5 out of 10, so that's amazing. But just the normal setup of the plants and the structure in general is very heavy. It's going to do that. So you want to make sure that when you think about it, when you start, that you are thinking about the weight, because they are going to knock it down. And you use bamboo, Hawaiian local term, right? It's going to be pretty heavy, and it will degrade over time. These are about 6 years old, so they're just naturally going to decay. Of course, they can probably last like 25 years, but you got to take care of it. You got to varnish it. You got to treat it. You got to do a lot of stuff. So let's see what we did. We did root system. We did poles. All right. The next thing is we're also counting beans. I'm just going to do like this first person. So we're also counting vanilla beans, right? So we want to make sure that there's no mushy spots, that they're growing uniformly. They're growing pretty straight. I'll just talk off to the side here. So they're growing pretty straight, and that there's no issues. The ants, oh my God, the black ants love the hell out of this. Maybe I can get them to work for me and they can pollinate for me. So I'm taking a look at all our vanilla bean sets and making sure that there is no issues with them changing. Because again, what we don't want to see is we come back in a couple of weeks and we have, you know, no beans. So these all did flower, right? These flowered. Sorry, I can't see it. There it is. These flowered and then they died, right? And then they died. We don't want that. We don't want that, because we want to grow. We want to sell our products. We want to be able to get these out to market. What is that? So we did bean health. All right, the next thing, let's see if I can flop this around. Well, let me do it. No, it won't. All right, the next thing, this is bad right here. When you have so many different runners, it's becoming too vegetative. So what I'm going to do next is, after I've already taken care of the feeding and the foliar and making sure that they don't have beans on it, I'm going to now start aggressively pruning these back to where I get about a 15-meter pole, and then I'm going to take the rest and turn them into cuttings, or send them off to tissue culture lab. I am working on tissue culture. Either myself or somebody else is going to do it. So I'm working on that. So these are good prime candidates for tissue culture. But as you can see, we've done just really good. It produced beans, but its beans are really tiny, but it has no lack of vine. This is too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, who knows? So a lot of that. So I'm gonna have to come back in here and do that, because as you can see, this one did produce really good beans right here, really good beans right here, but then it has like kind of have an identity crisis. It's kind of going nutso. All right, let's see what else. So we got that, got growth. I'm seeing everything. I give myself like a C- for bean production this year. I think that I was more worried about other projects inside of growing vanilla, and then I didn't do as good teaching pollination. So make sure you watch my pollination video again that I do. I show it really well. It could be that we just trained to smash it in there, and yeah, that didn't work out so well, because some of these in the back, in the later half of the flowering season is February to May, as late as June, right when our rainy season kind of kicks in. Yeah, some of these just didn't like what we did. So, you know, we'll have to work on that next year. Well, good thing we got 9 months to plan ahead. But what I do have to do is we need to talk about nutrition and what is going on with the crop. A lot of this have been really protected. You can see up in the top, we really got shade net. It's actually really nice. I would say it's probably like 25 to 28 C. It's not too bad during the day. This is peak heat time. It's right around midday. So I think we nailed that. But now what we're starting to do is we had really great vine production, and then it got yellow. So I ran this through one of the apps that I'm working on, and gave it through Plant Health, because again, I might be a PhD type doctor, but I'm not like a super plant doctor. I'm just a dude that likes vanilla and farming. So I ran it through, and it actually is a magnesium deficiency, or could be. It also could be just a calcium deficiency as well, a nitrogen deficiency, because if you look at these, they got really big, and then the growing tips look really healthy, no issues. So this one, it recovered, but it wasn't happy at some point. And that could be because this side of the shade house, because we have row 3, row 2, row 1 right here, got more of the sun, right? And then maybe as the years shifted and we set up our shade net on the side, top and bottom, maybe there was some sort of issue there. But I'm also noticing a little bit of deficiency on some of the other ones. And so I think that magnesium is so important because it allows delivery of your plant nutrition into it. So we're going to do a foliar into the bottom, since we already, a drench. And then in about 2 weeks, we're going to do a foliar spray as well. Or I might just split it 50-50 just to kind of help it out. So that's the other thing that we're fighting too. Let's see. So we got that one, because we're trying to really isolate the best plant for beans and bean production. So even if this one doesn't have crazy like amount of vegetative growth, it's actually done really well, and it's still growing pretty good. And I would say it's probably about the minimum size, about 15 meters or so. It's a decent pole. I don't notice anything else, because we're really trying to isolate that one. So when we send these off to tissue culture, we are going to be able to grow the right plant consistently for our buyers around the world, locally, but around the world. I'd like to get these into the US again, because I think there's a huge demand right now that's just being under delivered. And I think right now the Philippines is posed to be able to grow. It's not without its red tapes. There's a lot of other YouTube. Oh my God, Joe aside here. Let's just talk. I follow a lot of channels. I was going to do some React videos, but I didn't want to sound negative. I really don't like to be negative. I like to be pretty positive, upbeat, even if things like get you down in life. But I saw this one dude, and he's an expat. And there was like, you could tell that they definitely paid people to like and subscribe to his videos. It was like fake ass content, because like his polls were like, just like as if you just put like a meter cutting. And then he was saying like, oh, it can make like $500,000. And I was like, hold on, let's just look. This is my back half. These aren't that great. This is my front half. These are like really, really, really big. Just one of my poles. Let's just take this pole. This pole had more vines than what he was displaying. And he said he had to hike into it. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just said, math isn't mathing. If it took me 6 years from like August 2020, and I started with 10 1 meter cuttings, and yeah, they died, they went around, I propagated them, I took a while, and then I transplanted them once I had really good growing stock in my nursery, which we've all seen that. I then transported them to the farm, and guess what? I started back over again at 1 meter cuttings per every pole that I have here, right? This amount will produce 160 kilos maybe a year. 160, that's with like about 120 beans per pole. Just depends on how well I'm at. So like if you look at them, so here's one, it should actually have 5, right? It's missing its friends. This one produced. This is not grade A. This is going to be grade A. This isn't going to be grade A, because see, it's got a little divot inside there, so that's not a grade A. That's going to be extraction grade. This will be a grade A, because it's right at the very tip there, right? So I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just be careful out there. So the best thing is follow my channel. I'm gonna give it to you real. I'm probably not gonna post a lot of videos, random. Maybe I'll just share some things or some hot topics. But honestly, watch out what videos you do, because there's a lot of hype in the market for vanilla and ube, and there's a lot of fake news out there that just doesn't make a lot of sense. And I watched this video and I was like, this guy isn't really explaining it, or he doesn't want to. He just wants to kind of be a YouTuber and whatever, but whatever. It is what it is. End rant. All right. So other than that, everything looks pretty good. We have some really tiny poles that are producing well back here, but I think there's just a lot of nutritional issues that I need to. I was kind of worried about this as I'll pull up videos. Like this, I thought was Mosaic is just mechanical damage, right? I worry about when my leaves start hooking. Hooking's like really not good. I worry about that, but probably just more mechanical damage. Something did. I have a really good one. Where is it at? It's over here. Something did try to eat the crap out of this one. Where is it? Where is it? Right there. Sorry, I don't want to flop it around. I don't want to edit too much later. So something really did try to eat that one. I thought that was kind of crazy. Don't eat these. I cut them and they burn the crap out of like my forearms and everything. So be careful, especially when they get really, really thick. You won't notice it right away, but then you get in the car ride home, you'll be like, oh my God, it really hurts. It's like a poison ivy type burn. But everyone seems to be doing good. Even back here, I have some skinny poles. Like, I can't even tell you, like even my skinny pole here, dude, that thing isn't gonna be in production for like another 2 years. Like, it's not happy. And it looks like it broke off at one point. Yeah, looks like it broke off a little bit there. So this is a 2-year plant. If it gets faster, cool. If not, doubtful it's going to be ready for harvest next year. And then you don't know which ones are going to be, because you have this monstrosity right here. This is back here. And then you have this one that is very happy. You can see because of the striations in the leaves, and you can tell between the inner node, you know, you're aiming for about like 4 to 6 inches. This is growing fine. It really is what it is. And so when people show me other videos, I gotta like call the BS on that one, because it's like, yeah, dude, it's not real. There's no way your production isn't going to be ready for like 3 years, dude, if you're lucky, and if you don't mess it up in the meantime. So other than that, other positive things, I fired back up my email. I should probably put it out there. Maybe I'll put it in the comment section or something. You know, hit me up on the email. I don't check it. I felt really bad. I had a supplier reach out to me, or somebody who wanted to purchase vanilla. And yeah, that was from like 2023. So I felt a little bad. It's 2026 now. Felt a little bad about that one, but I think they reached out to me again from a new location. So I did send them over my catalog and my offerings, so I could probably link that as well. I do have a lot of watermarks. Again, I am kind of protective of my business when it comes to offering supplies and guidance. So you just have to take it with a grain of salt and deal with my personality and my quirks. Sometimes, you know, I don't want to give away all the secrets yet, because I don't know it either. I definitely think that's one of the big things you have to take away watching and following the channel and everything, is that I'm still learning much, and I'm already like 6 years into it. So I think I'm actually ahead of the curve. Let's see what else, man. I'm just kind of impressed with the level of production. That's what I said. I'll believe your video when you show me your beans on your vine. All right, I'll buy your cuttings when you show me your beans on your vine. Shots fired. Like, shots fired. You show me beans on your vine, I'll buy your product. If you don't show me that, I'll never buy your product, because you're full of crap. Just saying. Which brings me up. So I'm starting another project. I'm doing 100 meters of ube. I'm in the west. Ube is going nutso. So I'm going to do a trial run of ube. It's going to take me 3 years to actually grow a hectare of ube, because I think there's concoctions I can make with vanilla. I still like to bake. I just don't have any time, but I can train and teach. So I'm going to produce some ube for myself. Initially, it's going to start with 100 meters of ube, then it's going to go to 1,000 meters in year 2, and then year 3 will be a hectare. That's the idea. I don't know. Vanilla will probably already have invaded the space that I have available, because the ube variety that you want to grow is out of Bohol. I can't remember the name, and I will not butcher it. So, but it starts with a K. Can't remember what it is, but that apparently is the popular variety. But of course, when anything's popular, vanilla, ube, doesn't matter the crop type, everybody and the mother starts selling you counterfeits. So, you know, you got to kind of watch out for that as well. So let's see. We updated everything. We kind of gave a method. I'm just enjoying my time walking through here and showing you guys around as I walk through. And again, I'm just saying, if your pole doesn't look like a giant Christmas tree of vanilla vines, I would be very suspect in whether they are actually a vanilla grower, because they need to look this big. They need, even this one, which I say was a failure because it had very weak pollination, or maybe we just sucked at pollinating it. It's too vegetative to grow, but they should look that big because, again, it has terrestrial roots. It has aerial roots. It needs a combination of both, and it needs to be very vigorous to grow because it'll always grow. That's how it works, and then you have to take it out that way. So yeah, other than that, not too much. Let's do some B-roll. Give me your chicks. I separated one. I separated one. Chirp, 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 chirp. Get them. Get the little chirpers.
Nope, Mama's coming back.
Hey, that's mine.
Blue thing don't wing.
I know. I see it. I want your peeps. All right, go to Mama. I'm just messing with you. But Trina will eat you.